Joining me now is Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, Democrat from Illinois, and Ryan Grimm, Washington Bureau Chief of the Huffington Post. Thanks to both of you for joining me.
Thank you.
Congresswoman, let me start with you. Let me get this right. Republicans are for a tax increase. Am I getting this right?
So far, so right. They're for a tax increase on the middle class. Oh, heaven forbid, on the wealthiest Americans. And Grover Norquist, who is the king of no tax increases, seems to have agreed with that. He explained to the Republican conference today that raising taxes on the middle class actually wasn't a tax increase. I don't exactly figure that out. I don't understand it. So they in order to protect the income of the millionaires and billionaires, they are willing to raise taxes on the middle class. Incredible.
Now, Ryan,
we're going to stay here.
Ryan, Grover Norquist, known for getting pledges, cited that members of Congress will not, under any circumstances, vote to raise taxes, is now saying the fact that middle-income families will have an increase of $1,000 on their taxes is not a tax increase.
It's completely inconsistent because when he talked about the Bush tax cuts expiring a year and a half ago,
right,
he said if the Bush tax cuts expire, that's a tax hike on hardworking Americans. That was the Republican talking point, that expiring tax cuts are the same thing as a tax hike. And there are reams and reams of transcripts to support that. So the notion that taxes going up because of this tax cut expiring rather than the Bush tax cut expiring, that's not a tax increase. It doesn't make any sense. It's not a serious attempt here.
They seem divided on this, even the Republicans. Is there some fear because obviously they can't believe that people are that silly to think an extra $1,000 is not an increase?
Oh, they're extremely afraid of this because if they don't act on this, the moment that your taxes go up, Congress will be out on recess. They'll be back in their districts, and they're gonna be swarmed with angry constituents asking why they got a smaller paycheck than they did a couple weeks ago, and it won't take much Googling to figure out what happened.
Congresswoman, even John McCain is saying that the GOP doesn't have its act together, and the Democrats are doing a good job. Even John McCain is saying that.
This isn't some sort of academic exercise either. $1,000 for 160 million Americans really makes a big difference, especially this holiday season. People are trying to figure out their budgets, and can we actually put some presents under the tree, right, and can we have that turkey for our Thanksgiving, our Christmas dinner, or gifts for Hanukkah. This means a lot to people. I don't think it means that much to the wealthiest Americans. $1,000, they probably think that's nothing. But I want to tell you, Al, we are not going to leave here. We are just not going to leave here.
I'm glad to hear you talking tough, because that's what a lot of us have been wanting to hear, is the Democrats fighting tough like Jan Schakowsky always has. Look at Chuck Schumer today. I was so proud of the senior citizen from where I reside.
There's some talk that Speaker Boehner next Wednesday will throw us some kind of proposal and go home. Don't go home, Speaker Boehner, because we're going to be here, and you'll be embarrassed before the American people if you do.
Congresswoman, is there a new fighting spirit among Democrats in the Congress, Senate, and House?
You bet there is. This is a non-negotiable issue. We have to do really three things. We have to extend the payroll tax cut for working Americans, for the middle class. We have to extend the unemployment insurance benefits, or we're going to see millions of people next year without any source of income. And we have to make sure that doctors aren't going to cut their Medicare patients off because we aren't going to extend the doctor fix. So we need to do those things before we leave. We're simply not going to go home. And I really dare the Republicans, we all do, to say, really? You're going to leave people with nothing over the holidays? You're going to go home? Not
well,
going to
Ryan,
happen.
you heard it. The Congresswoman says she dares them, and we're going to fight. One thing I learned a long time ago, if you fight, you may lose. Don't fight, you're guaranteed to lose. Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky and Ryan Grimm, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Reverend Al.